Are you ready to talk about Thanksgiving family dinners? Because I know that I am. And I'm here to say that if you have friends and family who are not going to be making that political, respect it. That's honestly all I should have to say about this. But the reality here is that every Thanksgiving I start to see all sorts of posts encouraging people to make Thanksgiving dinner political. And if that's not your family's scene, you should probably respect that. And if that's not the scene of other families, you should also encourage them to respect that. Because the reality is that family dinners are probably not the best place to have conversations about politics and have conversations about social issues for a lot of families. Now, there are families out there who are ready and willing and mature enough to have conversations about politics and social events at the Thanksgiving dinner family table. But that is not every family. And if someone thinks that's not their family, they probably know their family better than you do. And the reason I'm saying this is that there are people who are going to go out there and who are going to encourage people to make Thanksgiving family dinners political. And usually this is for the sake, or at least it's masqueraded as being for the sake, of trying to make it so that people who have dangerous political views, in many cases racist or sexist political views, be on trial of sorts. And that is a risky proposition to say the least. I don't like it. And frankly, there are a lot of people who also don't like it who probably don't feel like starting the fights that that sort of conversation would start. But I am willing to start the fights that that sort of conversation would start because I have friends and family who have tried this and it hasn't gone well for them. In fact, it's gone so unwell that they have been, in some cases, mildly traumatized by the experiences that they've had engaging in this sort of conversational framework and engaging in this sort of activism. It is risky, and a lot of people are not going to be able to pull it off, and it's going to blow back, and it's going to blow back hard. So if someone in your social circles doesn't want to do that, respect their wishes. And I know that in a lot of cases you aren't going over to their family dinners and doing that yourself. I'm not saying that you are, but if you're making the sorts of posts that are encouraging people to do this, I hope that you'll hear me out. Because if you are on social media and you're encouraging people to do this, I think you have a certain level of not responsibility, but it sure would be cool if you went a little bit further than just being like, hey, here's what you should do during Thanksgiving dinner. Instead, you should be like, hey, if you're someone who is thinking about having one of these conversations at a Thanksgiving family dinner, I hope you'll take a few minutes to read what I'm about to write. I am going to be sharing resources as to how to approach family members in these sorts of settings, including the fact that it is perfectly fine and, in fact, probably encouraged that you don't do this at dinner, even if your family is together. You instead wait and you have these sorts of conversations one on one. Because if you have a conversation one on one, it's easier for people to not quite immediately feel on the defensive or as if you are about to attack them or try to publicly shame them, and people are more likely to listen. Also, if you insist on having these conversations, then here are some resources to help you be less nervous, to help you know how to have these sorts of conversations, and also some resources to help remind you that even if you don't change someone's mind, that is perfectly fine. Also, if you've had these sorts of experiences before, if you've had these sorts of conversations and they haven't gone well, and you want someone to talk to for the holidays who will help you, who will be there for you, I am here for you. Because frankly, I do not like a whole lot of the posts that I am seeing and a whole lot of the articles I am seeing where people are encouraged to try to roast their family members for these potentially dangerous points of views. I understand the impulse behind these articles and I agree with some of the content, but the idea that a public family dinner, and a family dinner is a public setting. Let's be real. Within the context of your family, a family gathering, a family dinner like Thanksgiving is public. That's not private. It's just not public in the sense of the greater community. These are not the intimate settings that people often pretend they are. And that's an important thing to take into consideration. People know their families and how their families work better than someone else does. So if someone's out here trying to encourage them to be like, hey, you shouldn't think like this in the public setting that is a family dinner, it's probably not going to go well. And you, as someone who's trying to encourage them to do this, need to take that into consideration. You need to be ready to be there for them. And you need to be like, hey, if you don't want to do that, that's perfectly okay. Instead of being like, hey, people should do this for this, this, and this reason, and then providing no resources, no additional context, and not offering to be support for people. If people in my life want to go out and have conversations with their family members about politics and about social issues during Thanksgiving, if they want to do that, I hope that they do, and I hope that it goes well. But if it doesn't, or if they don't want to, I also want them to know that I can talk to them, they can talk to me, I'm ready to be here for them, and I hope that nothing that makes them feel unsafe, nothing that causes painful memories, and nothing that ruins a family gathering happens to them. Because I want people's family gatherings to be happy occasions. And these things can be happy occasions and also be occasions where learning takes place. But the reality is, encouraging people to just go out and have these sorts of conversations without giving them the resources necessary and without also being like, hey, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here, is probably a risky proposition, and I am not a fan of it. And I am glad to be making more videos. I hope that what I have said in this video makes sense. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm probably going to be making more videos between now and Thanksgiving, but just in case I don't, I will see you guys in the near future, and feel free to let me know how your past Thanksgivings have gone, as well as how you think your next Thanksgiving is going to go. Have a great day.